We begin today's show looking at President Trump's primetime address on Wednesday night. And there was widespread speculation that Trump would use the speech to announce military action against Venezuela. But instead, the 18-minute speech focused largely on domestic issues, including the economy and health care. Trump's address comes as his poll numbers continue to fall. A new NPR PBS News Marist poll finds just 36% of Americans approve of the president's handling of the economy. This is how Trump began his speech from the White House.
11 months ago, I inherited a mess, and I'm fixing it. When I took office, inflation was the worst in 48 years, and some would say in the history of our country, which caused prices to be higher than ever before, making life unaffordable for millions and millions of Americans. This happened during a Democrat administration, and it's when we first began hearing the word affordability. Our border was open, and because of this, our country was being invaded by an army of 25 million people, many who came from prisons and jails, mental institutions, and insane asylums. They were drug dealers, gang members, and even 11,888 murderers, more than 50% of whom killed more than one person. This is what the Biden administration allowed to happen to our country.
Everything you just said, they're the harbingers of death. They're the real gangsters, right? They're the real murderers and killers and bloodthirsty beasts on this earth. They taught all this murder, blame everybody else but themselves. That's pride, arrogance. That's the devil, the deceiver.
And it can never be allowed to happen again.
Standing between two Christmas trees, President Trump went on to praise the state of the U.S. economy, even though new government statistics show the nation's unemployment rate is at a new four-year high of 4.6%.
We're doing what nobody thought was even possible, not even remotely possible. There has never, frankly, been anything like it. 1 year ago, our country was dead. We were absolutely dead. Our country was ready to fail, totally failed. Now, we're the hottest country anywhere in the world, and that's said by every...
Yeah, you the hottest, all right. And this country's gonna burn. Kohalo Yahweh Bahashem Yahushai Bahashem Kodash. That's all praises to the Father Yahweh, who the world literally calls God, in the name of his Son, our beloved Lord and Savior Yahweh Shai Mashiach, who the world ignorantly calls Jesus Christ, in the name of the Rakal Kodash, the Holy Spirit, which the world ignorantly refers to as the Holy Ghost. Peace, citations to the Akim, the brethren, on the four winds, pushing the truth and diligence and sincerity. Shalom to the hopeful elect, the Israelite foreigners, shalom. Double honor to the tabernacle of David. Double honor to the elders, bishops, and apostles of the 100% truth. You all know who that is. Shalom to you brothers. Shalom, I'm your brother, Mahalo Allah Yahweh, back for the lesson, pre-camp lesson, and just listen to the devils, listen to the, you know, his heart's drawn swords. His mouth is smoother than oil, ain't that what the scriptures say? But his heart is drawn swords, man. This is the devil. And, you know, their tongue, that with that third witness, right? These truthers and, you know, a lot of these guys are probably all jakes. You know, they got a zeal, but just not according to the knowledge. Yahweh Hashem Yahushai. But, you know, Trump is a tyrant, man. It's a takeover, right? We got ICE running throughout the country, you know, apprehending people, and you know they're filling up these torture chambers, right? These death camps, these Eisenhower death camps, right? They're experimenting with the chip, you know, the MOT to the busy, right? Through Neuralink, through the head implant, right? Through your hand, the mark of the beast, man. We in them days right now, right? And their tongue is falling upon themselves. Actually, let me go to the scriptures. Keep this running. This phone is kind of jacked up. So Lord willing, you can understand and hear me. But this is the book of let's go to the book of Psalms, chapter 64. Let's go to Psalm 64. Bear with me. Lord willing, one person is edified. But you know, this is the dragon, it's the serpent, this is the beast system, the Greco-Roman Empire, you know, revitalized, right? You know, they're back in power, their infrastructure, their architecture, you know, their decrees, their laws, their system, and they're just, you know, they're enhancing it through super artificial intelligence. This is the book of Psalms, chapter 64. And I'm gonna start here, the book of Psalms, chapter 64, from the top. We'll start at the top. Hear my voice, Psalm 6, chapter 64. Hear my voice, O power, and my prayer. Preserve my life from fear of the enemy. Hide me from the secret counsel of the wicked. The secret counsel of the wicked. Who are the wicked? Esau, Edom. They are the wicked. You know, and the Lord is exposing them, pulling their skirts up. You know, shameful spewing is upon their so-called glory, right? They're none but a bunch of, you know, violent, bloodthirsty vampires, man. Just like the movies depict these devils as. That's what they are. They're bloodthirsty vampires, and they literally drink blood, right? This is Esau, Edom. This is your mortal enemy, and you got Israelites, Genesis, trying to save these devils, right? You got Israelites, you know, Christians, out here trying to save this devil, man. A severe case of Stockholm syndrome to the highest degree. Listen to this devil.
Every single leader that I've spoken to over the last 5 months. Next year, you will also see the results of the largest tax cuts in American history that were really accomplished through our great, big, beautiful bill, perhaps the most sweeping legislation ever.
Make it sound good, tax cuts, all that extra shit, but, you know, data centers, right? Right? Central data center, right? Putting all of y'all under, transhumanizing y'all, you know. They already sprayed out the skies, man. They spray particles, and you guys are full of fucking particles in your body, right? Rather it's sulfuric acid, rather it's aluminum, barium. You know, you're fucked, right? You eat it. It's in your animals. It's in the animals. It's in the agriculture. This is the devil. And the tongue's falling upon itself. Psalms chapter 64, verse 2. Hide me. And, you know, this is the enemy, man. Esau, Edom, the so-called white man, all these other nations, these heathens, all these other heathens. The table of nations in Genesis chapter 10 tells you there's 18 nations, you know, and these heathens they all had us in captivity. The 4 major beasts in Daniel, right? Chapter 7, the 4 beasts, right? We've been in captivity on all of them. This is the last empire, man. Here we go. Psalms chapter 64, verse 3, verse 2. Hide me from the secret counsel of the wicked, from the insurrection of the workers of iniquity. Listen. We'll let it start over. But here, the secret counsel of the workers of iniquity. What is iniquity? Iniquity is sin on top of sin on top of sin. It piles up. And it's reaching the heavens. And Yahweh Hashem Yahshua, he's sick of it. Let's listen to him. Listen.
All over your freaking money. But you don't pay any attention. Republican or you're Democrat. You're wrong. Why? It's this easy. It's called divide and conquer. That's why there's 2 parties and only 2. And they're controlled by the same people at the very top who belong to the Council of...
Which are the international bankers, right? The Trilateral Commission. All these rich fucking Edomites, man. You know? These rich Edomites. Amalek, right? And then you got these technocrats. They're all, you know, all roads lead to the mark of the beast. They're all pushing the same thing. You got fucking Israelites like Captain Cesariak, right? And ISUPK, WY5, HOI, you know, all these people are in league with this 501c3, IUIC, right? They're all under this beast. They're all under this beast, man. They're all caught up in the image of this fucking beast. And it's obvious. It's obvious to anybody full of the spirit, pushing the spirit of prophecy, pushing Yahweh Hashem Yahweh Shai, right? These devils know who the fuck they are, right? You had the same system in Rome, man. And that empire's back in control. The plebeians and the patricians, right? You had the higher class, and then you had the so-called, for the liberals, for everybody. Or however the fuck they put it, but it's the left wing and the right wing, the far right, however they explain it, the far right, the far left, but it's a bureaucracy. So they all got the same common goal, right? Two wings on the same damn plane, the same eagle, which this devil is compared to an eagle in the book of Obadiah, right? Proud, prideful, arrogant, right? But that third witness, right? That third witness is you got Judah, Ephraim, right? The northern and southern kingdom. We chan this devil down, but that third witness themselves are coming against. They're coming against each other. A house divided against itself cannot stand, right? That's in the book of Saint Matthew, Saint Mark. A house divided against itself cannot stand. We can go get that, but let's keep reading. Isaiah chapter 64. Part 2, verse 2, Salakia, hide me from the secret counsel of the wicked, from the insurrection of the workers of iniquity. And Yahweh Shem Yahshua is tired of these proud, prideful devils, man. And that's why you see so much judgment. You see what happened on that beach the other day, the floods in Washington, the levees breaking and shit. So it's judgment. The Lord, Yahweh Hashem Yahushua, he's visiting the earth, right? Which Ezra was telling us, right? He's back in these days, prophesying, out here on the highways and the hedges, man, making videos. And these devils know the men of the Lord are back standing in their lot. The prophets are subject to the prophets, to the spirit of the prophets. And the men are back right now, right? Defending the gospel, because you got Jakes out here under this gag order trying to, confuse the sheep, right? Well, they are, right? Leading the sheep to the slaughter. This is it. Psalm 64, chapter 3, who whet their tongue like a sword and bend their bows to shoot their arrows, even bitter words.
Never passed in Congress.
To talk more about Trump's speech, what some called an 18-minute shout, and also talk about the state of the economy, we're joined by Dean Baker, senior economist at the Center for Economic and Policy Research, author of Rigged: How Globalization and Rules of the Modern Economy Were Structured to Make the Rich Richer. So as you watch this speech from your vantage point in Oregon, Dean.
And these devils, they mad at each other. America's divided, man. All of them. The EU, is the European Union, that shit's divided, man. The UN, United Nations, that shit's divided, man. Right? The bully, that whore, America. Yeah, that great whore, that bitch, she's a bully of the whole earth, man. And all these nations is mad. Remember what it said, you'll be a golden cup in the Lord's hand. And where was that let me see. Hold on. Bear with me. Hold on. Matter of fact, just bear with me, Israel. And listen to this.
Foreign Relations, the Bilderberger Group, they also belong to the Trilateral Commission, and you people don't even know what the hell that is. But if you did know, you would know that these are the people that control your world by making global policies that you never vote on, and by which parties both serve and belong to these organizations and control your world. Now, here's how it works. Really easy. Divide and conquer can only work if the people that are divided are not aware of the falsely created division. If you're not aware of it, then it works. If you know about it, then it don't work no more. If you have socialism without capitalism, it becomes communism. If you have capitalism without socialism, it becomes fascism. The Masonic symbols are all over your freaking money, but you don't pay any attention.
See, shameful spewing on this devil's glory.
What stood out for you most?
Well, this is kind of a greatest hit of crazy. I mean, if I were one of his staffers, in all seriousness, I'd be wondering about the man's sanity. I mean, this is utterly divorced from reality. I mean, just starting from the word go, that he inherited a mess. No, he inherited a very strong economy. That's not my assessment. That's just universal assessment. I remember The Economist magazine, which is not a left-wing outlet, had a cover story, "The U.S. economy, the envy of the world." This was just before the election last fall. The unemployment rate was at 4%. The economy was growing about 2.5% annual rate. Inflation was coming down to its 2% target. We'd had a boom in factory construction. This was an incredibly strong economy by almost every measure imaginable. So Trump gets in there and says it was dead. This is crazy. I could go on. His immigration stories, 25 million. The numbers that most, it's roughly estimated somewhere around 6 million. Asylum, again, this is another one that you go, oh my God, no one can tell this guy. He thinks that when people come here for asylum, for political reasons, they face persecution in their home country, which is in the law, that they're released from insane asylums. There's just, it just goes on from here. This is utterly removed from reality, and it's a little scary. I mean, this is the man who decides whether we go to war, controls the nuclear weapons. I mean, he is not in touch with reality.
Devils are they're divided. They're against each other. So you Jakes, y'all want to save these demons? You think these demons gonna get on the chariot? No. You're gonna die with these demons, right? Y'all gonna get caught up in their mess, in their shit. Y'all already caught up in it. See, only this truth is gonna set you free. This is the book of St. Mark, chapter 3, verse 20. And the multitude cometh together again, so they could not. St. Mark chapter 3, verse 20, and the multitude coming together again, so that they could not so much as eat bread. And when his friends heard of it, they went out to lay hold on him, for they said, he is beside himself. And the scribes which came down from Jerusalem said, he hath Beelzebub, and by the prince of the devils casteth he out devils, right? And when all these non-believers call us cults and shit, this is that spirit they take on, talking about their cult, they're against they're terrorists, domestic terrorists, black identity extremists. When they coming against you for this truth, because they wanna continue in their wickedness and their evil, right? That's that spirit, right? Keep reading St. Mark chapter 3, verse 22. And they was coming at Yahweh Shai, Yahweh Shai was right, and the scribes which came down from Jerusalem said, he hath Beelzebub, and by the prince of the devils casteth he out devils. And he called them unto him and said unto them in parables, how can Satan cast out Satan, right? How can Satan cast out Satan? And if a kingdom be divided, and that's the point, and if a kingdom be divided against itself, that kingdom cannot stand. And and 50-year run, man. That's about the average, that's the average age for empire, average eon. That's the average for, and Yahweh Bashem Yahushai, he's gonna throw it down. He throws them down. He puts the kings in power. He puts the people in power. What's that in Job chapter? Matter of fact, let's go there. But let's listen to this again.
Or you're Democrat, you're wrong. Why?
Your plebeians and patricians, remember, right? These the same. So all your powers that rule is under the same. They're under the same beast. They're under the same system, right? That's the system that's trying to enslave humanity through technology, through artificial intelligence. And these devils are coming against themselves. We're going to go back to Psalms chapter 64. But these devils are, they're divided, right? And that's prophecy. That's prophecy. The Lord said they was going to be divided. And that's what Yahweh Shai is telling you. How can Satan cast out Satan? Right? A kingdom divided against itself, right? Y'all just gonna fail. Y'all just gonna implode, right? Be destroyed. It's over with. This is the fall of this so-called empire, this queendom.
Why? It's this easy. It's called divide and conquer. That's why there's two parties and only two. And they're controlled by the same people at the very top who belong to the Council on Foreign Relations, the Bilderberger Group. They also belong to the Tri.
And these are the elites. These are the top elites, you know. And Trump's just doing the bidding of the elite. America is a corporation, right? This is a corporation. And it's ran by the international bankers, man. Right? The Rothschilds. He's telling you. Right? They own everything. Rothschilds, Rockefellers, Vanderbilts, Bilderbergs, Gettys, these the Dukes of Edom, man. Right? These are the wicked, the sons of the wicked.
I want to go to the issue of...
And Trump is their puppet. He does their deal. He does their bidding, right? And, you know, they saying this motherfucker is sick. They're all sick, man, all of them, right? Physically, mentally, they're dead, right? They're dead in spirit. And you know, they know they're losing their footing on this earth. Nobody respects these devils anymore, man. Everybody knows this is the fucking devil. Psalms chapter 64. Let's go back to Psalm 64. The book of Psalms chapter 64, verse 3. Who whet their tongue like a sword and bend their bows to shoot their arrows, even bitter words. 4. That they, Psalms chapter 64, verse 4, that they may shoot in secret at the perfect. Who are the perfect? The Israelites. And yeah, they shoot at secret. All their little, you know, their psyops, their psychological operations and their distractions, you know, all their, you know, their bread and circus, their, you know, Olympics, you know, basketball's fully in full swing right now. The NBA, the NHL, the NFL, right? Everybody's distracted. You got shit going on in the world. You got these beefs, these feuds with these YNs, NBA YoungBoy, Lil Durk. You got P. Diddy, Files, 50 Cent, Jim Jones, all these podcasts, right? And it's just a big, huge distraction, man, stumbling block. And then you got Israelites teaching that heathens can make it on the chariots, right? That heathens is going to be punishing Jake's heathen women. Queen of Sheba is going to be punishing Ethiopians, is going to be punishing Cush. Like, this is Cush. Ethiopian, this is Cush, man. Come on now. I mean, Cush's first son was fucking Nimrod, man. Babylonians, man. Come on now. They're going to be whooping Jake ass in the kingdom. This is what they're pushing now, right? It's Hebrewanity. I don't know what the hell it is. I don't know what you call it. But the world is full of snakes, wolves in sheep clothing, hirelings, people here to fill their own belly. And, you know, and that's just the 2/3. You know, the Lord is separating. He's separating, he's sifting. Psalms chapter 64, verse 4, that they may shoot in secret at the perfect. And it's working, man. People are getting tossed to and fro with these false doctrines, you know, and a lot of confusion. The dust of Babylon. I did a video years ago called The Dust of Babylon, and, you know, and hey, it's blinding. That dust is blinding a lot of Israelites, a lot of Jakes, man. You know, even Esau know what these devils is doing, and you Jakes want to save them. Esau know what they're doing, and they telling on themselves. They killing each other, silencing each other. Man, they got spies. Man, they putting out hits on Jake, right? They false flagging, coming at Somalians. Really, they targeting you Jakes. Yeah, so what? They're coming at the Ethiopians. Who gives a fuck? Them other nations. But still, it's all centered around coming at you, Israel. That's what it's centered around. Coming at the so-called Negro, Native American, and Latino, and Seminole Indian. That's what everything's towards enslaving us, right? Getting us out the way so they could further their enterprise, right? Their wicked enterprise. But the Lord's going to bring these devils down. We're assuming in the book of Job. Let's keep reading. It's the book of Psalms, chapter 64, verse 5. They encourage themselves in evil matter. See, they encourage themselves in an evil matter. They commune, right? They have secret meetings and shit. They commune of laying snares, of putting you niggas in traps, gradually fucking y'all over, like feeding y'all to this system, make you the internet of all things, turn you into a walking cell phone, a QR code. That's their plan, man. Feed you up with metals, barium, aluminum, right? Make you eat it, as we was going through earlier in the lesson, right? Fill you up full of these metals and make you on the part of the internet of things, man. This is secret war. This is war. There's war against you, Jake, against us. These devils, your governors, and you too, Esau. All you lesser Edomites, yeah. They'll kill their own to get at the real, to get at the what's plaguing them, what got them scared, man. And then this awakening, this great awakening of the Israelites, got these demons scared, and in terms of falling upon themselves. Psalms chapter 64, verse 5, they encourage themselves in an evil matter. They commune of laying snares privately. They say, who shall see them? See? Yahweh Hashem Yoshua has his prophets, his men. Amos chapter 3, his men is out here. 6 and 7. His men are here telling you, warning you. A lot of y'all, are taking heed, man. But then you got a whole bunch of Israelites who don't want to hear this truth, man. And they're marked for death. Yahweh Hashem Yoshua is going to purge them with the wickedness inside of them, as I like to say. The scripture says that. So they search out iniquities. Yep. They search out iniquities. They search out your sins. What's going to make you keep sinning, man? What can they do to keep you separated from your power? That's what these devils do. This is because they want you to suffer their fate, because they know they're through. When Balak was telling Balaam, Balaam was telling Balak was telling Balaam that he seen the end, he seen the glory, and he want to die the death of an Israelite, man. That's in the book of Numbers, chapter 23, I believe. Let's keep reading. They search out iniquities. They accomplish a diligent search, right? A diligent search. So these devils, they do case studies, right? They study the anatomy, the human body. They got the Smithsonian. Whenever something come up in the scriptures, they want to be the first one to go, dig up the earth and, get the fossils, get the evidence, and hide it, right? So they can create their own narrative around the evidence. This is the devil we're dealing with, and that keeps them in power. They lie. The lie keeps them in power, man. But God, Yahweh Bashem, let's get back up to Psalm 64, verse 6. They search out iniquities. They accomplish a diligent search, both inward thoughts of every one of them. The inward thoughts of every one of them in their heart is deep. The inward thoughts, the deepness of them. They hate you to the core, Jay. They hate us, and they think they're so much better than you, right? They're so puffed up and prideful, just like this devil.
Of healthcare, which you've written a lot about. Yesterday, the House did pass a bill on healthcare, but it was to criminalize transgender care for minors. But when it came to the Affordable Care Act, what Republicans increasingly are concerned about, along with Democrats in the House, that did not pass, the bill that would allow the subsidies for affordable health care to continue for 3 years. So I want to go to two clips of President Trump on drugs and on health care.
The current Unaffordable Care Act was created to make insurance companies rich. It was bad health care at much too high a cost, and you see that now in the steep increase in premiums being demanded by the Democrats, and they are demanding those increases, and it's their fault. It is not the Republicans' fault. It's the Democrats' fault. It's the Unaffordable Care Act, and everybody knew it. Again, I want the money to go directly to the people so you can buy your own health care. You'll get much better health care at a much lower price.
So, Dean Baker, what exactly is he talking about? What is President Trump proposing? How is it with the Republicans in control? They have not passed one replacement for the Affordable Care Act in years.
Yeah, well, to start with, first of all, the claims on the Affordable Care Act, I want to kick the Democrats because they won't defend it, but the data is as clear as it could possibly be. Healthcare cost growth slowed sharply after the Affordable Care Act was passed in 2010. We would be spending thousands of dollars more per year per person if healthcare had followed the course projected by the Congressional Budget Office, every healthcare expert. So there's a very sharp slowdown in healthcare cost growth after the Affordable Care Act passed. I don't understand why.
Yeah, whatever. They don't give a damn about you. Psalms 55, verse 21. The words of his mouth were smoother than butter, but war was in his heart. That's these devils' main thing, war, takeover. They want to enslave humanity, put chips in you. That's what they want to do. See, these devils, they know they're wicked, but they're trying to justify some kind of wickedness, and they kind of want some kind of beacon of hope, see some kind of glimmer of hope. There is no hope for America. This place is falling. There's no balm to heal America, man. There's no balm. This is the book of Psalms, chapter 64. The book of Psalms, chapter 64, verse 7. But Yahweh B'Shem Yoshai shall shoot at them, see, with an arrow. Suddenly shall they be wounded. The Lord is, and that's what he's doing right now. Right now it's happening through the prophets, the northern and southern kingdom, right? Judah and Ephraim, he's this devil. He's feeling he's being made inquisition of, he's being exposed, right? And he's humiliated. He's being humiliated. And he wants to do away with, they want to do away with all the wickedness and rewrite history, the way this empire was founded and built, right? This wicked, the whole system is wicked, man. Beast system, this is the dragon. We're living under this system, man. And soon they're going to enforce that charagma, man, and make you bow down to this beast. Just the book of Psalms, and these devils know it. They're telling you.
Federal Commission, and you people don't even know what the hell that is. But if you did know, you would know that these are the people that control your world by making global policies that you never vote on.
And they're paying these Israelite camps, man, to cause confusion, to cause more and more dust. It's the book of Psalms, chapter 64, verse 9, verse 8. And this is the point. Book of Psalms, chapter 64, verse 8. And it reads, so they shall make their own tongues to fall upon themselves. You see that? They're snitching on themselves. They're telling on themselves, man. They know they're wicked. Right? This whole place is built on wickedness. You go to Numbers chapter 33. Let's read that, man. Let's go read Numbers 33. This place is built on wickedness, man. That's the only way that's gonna purge this place. But as we were saying, they make it seem like they're for you. Yeah, that's the game, right? That's the smoke screen. That's the illusion. Psalms 55:21. The words of his mouth were smoother than butter, but war was in his heart. His words were softer than oil, yet were they drawn swords. So this devil he's out for blood, man. He's out for blood. And he's sneaky, he's a snake, he's conniving, he's cunning, he's crafty, he's wicked. What's the scripture? Let's go to the book of Numbers 33. Bear with me. This is the book of Numbers 33. I'm trying to do less pushing buttons on this original picture because the phone is definitely acting up. Getting new devices in here. How about Yahushua is definitely blessing the ministry. So we're gonna keep it moving. We want Genesis 33. Okay, let's see. And this is this devil. All is, they beat the Hebrew out of us, the Israelite out of us, you know. These devils, they beat it out of us. Numbers 35. They beat it out of us. They even our brothers, you know, when the kingdom of Solomon went, and the northern kingdom came here to Azareth, spoken of in Second Ezra chapter 13, I believe it is, right? America, right? You know, took them a year and a half to get here. Even when they beat our customs out of us. These devils came and they put them in. They were speaking Hebrew. They put them in them boarding schools, them Catholic boarding schools, and basically took their heritage away from them, man. Murdered them, killed them, buried them in the yard behind the damn school, right? And these bodies, these bones is popping up. These graves is popping up at these different boarding schools all throughout the northern area of the Americas, so-called Americas, right? All over the place, man. These is devils. You're dealing with a madman, wild man. Look up wild man. Amen. Numbers chapter 35, verse 33. So ye shall not pollute the land wherein ye are, for blood it defileth the land, and the land cannot be cleansed. See, blood defileth this land. So ye shall not pollute the land wherein ye are. And where are we? We're in the valley of the shadow of death. Psalm 23. We're in fucking America, man. Right? For blood it defileth the land. That's all these devils know is blood. That's Esau's blessing. The sword. All he knows is blood. We just read about the sword, right? Keep reading. So ye shall not pollute the land wherein ye are, for blood it defileth the land, and the land cannot be cleansed of the blood that is shed therein. See? That blood that's already shed in this land that defiled this land can't be cleansed by that blood. No one's going to cleanse this land, but by the blood of him that shed it. Esau, Edom, your blood, right? That devil, right? And you know the blood of the Israelites is crying off to the Lord, just like when Cain slayed Abel, man. It's that same wicked spirit in power, right? Greco-Roman Empire. And you see the architecture. You see the decrees. We went through it.
The Democrats are scared to say that, but that happens to be the reality. So, sorry, it is the Affordable Care Act, not the Unaffordable Care Act, as he says. Now, when you hear Trump and Republicans talk, it's like they have not been involved in the debate on health care for the last 15 years. We're going to give people money to buy their own health care. That's actually what the Affordable Care Act does. Now, if you want to say you want to take away regulations on the insurance industry, okay. Well, they aren't going to insure people with cancer. They aren't going to insure people with heart conditions. Insurers are there to make money. That's not an indictment of them. That's the reality. They aren't a charity. So if you say, okay, there's no regulations, insure who you want, well, we'll insure healthy people. That's cheap. We won't insure people with cancer. That was the whole point. It was, how do you create an insurance market where people who actually need the care, the people who really have health issues, they can get insurance.
Pharmacy, pharmacia, right? Physicians of no value, right? That goes back to Job chapter 13. They're physicians of no value. What's a doctor? A doctor just means to falsify things. To falsify, that's what doctor means. So we trust in Yahweh B'Shem Yahushua. This is the book of Psalms, chapter 64, verse 8. So they shall make their own tongue to fall upon themselves. All that see them shall flee away, right? So people are starting to, realize and see what's going on with this devil, man, and who this demon really is, right? He's the harbinger of death, as they said it upon themselves. Oppenheimers. They know what they are and who they are. They split the atom and made the atomic bomb, and Yahweh B'Shem Yahushua gave them the technology to do so. Let's go to Revelation chapter 13. It's the book of Revelation, chapter 13. From the top, and it said, I stood upon the sand of the sea and saw a beast rise up out of the sea, having 7 heads and 10 horns, and upon his horns 10 crowns, and upon his heads the name of blasphemy. And it's the EU, European Union, NATO, Northern Atlantic Treaty Organization, right? United Nations. This is them, this system. This is America. This is the beast system, right? This is this devil, Esau, Edom. So this is what they're gonna force you to bow down to this beast, right? And upon 10 crowns, and upon his heads the name of blasphemy. And the beast which I saw was like unto a leopard, and his feet were the feet of the bear. And that leopard is this Greco Empire, the Greco-Roman Empire. Alexander the Freak, he conquered this earth, man. Left it to four generals. Left it to four of his generals, man. And what did them four generals do? Right? What did they do? They took over. Antiochus IV came out of them, and the Israelites was Hellenized. Right? And that's it. You get that history in the book of Maccabees, chapter 1, First Maccabees, chapter 1. You can get that history, man. And know how we came into these heathen Hellenistic ways, and our people gonna be bowing down the Christmas trees and shit. Just a bunch of paganistic, Hellenistic shit. But let's just keep reading. I want to move down. Book of Revelation, chapter 13. Let's just keep reading. And I saw one of their heads, and they were wounded to death, and his deadly wound was healed. That's this Roman Empire, came back during the Renaissance period. And all the world wondered after the beast. And they worshiped the dragon, which gave power unto the beast, right? And Esau, Edom, giving power to this system. And they worshiped the beast, saying, who is like unto the beast? Who is able to make war with him? This is Revelation chapter 13, verse 4. Revelation chapter 13, verse 5. And it was given unto him a mouth speaking great things, and blasphemies, and power was given unto him to continue 42 months. And he opened his mouth in blasphemy against Yahweh Bashem Yahushai, to blaspheme his name and his tabernacle, and them that dwelt in heaven. Talking about the Israelites. And this is what they did. They desecrated our temples. And the Hanukkah, that's basically that's a celebration, of overcoming this power, in the past, right? And it was an 8-day celebration to overcome these damn devils. And the time's coming again where you're gonna have to, depend on the blood of Yahweh Shai Mashiach to overcome these devils. And these times, right, in these last days, right, because we at the end of the end. This was the beginning of the end, but we at the end of the end, man. And there was given unto him a mouth speaking great things and blasphemies. This is the end. And power was given unto him to continue 42 months. And I'm talking about when Yahweh Shai came on the scene. That was the beginning of the end. And he opened his mouth in blasphemies against Yahweh Bashem Yahushai, to blaspheme his name and his tabernacle and them that dwelt in heaven, the Israelites, man. And it was given unto him to make war with the saints, right? And to overcome them. And power was given, just Revelation chapter 13, verse 7. And power was given to him over all kindreds and tongues and nations, and all that dwell upon the earth shall worship him, whose names are not written in the book of life of the Lamb, slain from the foundation of the world. If any man have an ear, let him hear. He that lead into captivity shall go into captivity. He that killeth with the sword must be killed with the sword. Here is the patience and the faith of the saints. And these devils know they got to go into slavery. These heathens know. And that's what the gospel is. And, and teach you Israelites, come back, remember yourselves, because these devils who are in control, this beast, this dragon, he's in control, man. And his beast system is usurping the whole earth. It's like Skynet on Terminator, man. The AI, super artificial intelligence, these devils are trying to merge humanity with machine. And they're doing that. They're doing it. And they're gonna package it smoothly. It's gonna be sweet. Right? Like we read, so it's smoother than butter, his words. But his heart is drawn swords, man. So this devil got, this is it for him. This is his last hurrah, right? This is his last hurrah. Let's keep reading. This is the book of Revelation, chapter 13, Verse 11, and I beheld another beast coming up out of the earth, and here had two horns like a lamb. Right? There it goes. Plebeians, patricians, right? The Republicans, the Democrats, right? That's Revelation chapter 13, verse 11.
Which parties both serve and belong to these organizations and control your world. Now, here's how it works. Really easy. Divide and conquer can only work if the people that are divided are not aware of the falsely created division. We're not.
See that? Falsely created division. See? Falsely created division. So these devils got together. They planned. They're confederate against you. Psalms 83. They're confederate against you, Jace. And they plot. They plan in their secret chambers, and they teach their children in these synagogues and these forgot what they call them, but then them little temples they got, and then them they got their little temples all over the place, man, and they just teach how to rule over you, Jake. Their little Shriners and all that old shit. These devils, the Masonic Shriners and all that. The demons. That's who these people are. Bones, Skull and Bones, secret societies, man, and they're taught how to rule over you, Jake. Right? They're put in the positions they're in Congress and the mountains, the hills, the governments. They're putting in positions, man. Mayors, chiefs, sergeants, these devils are putting, and their badges is all Masonic. Everything is Masonic, so it's wicked. If you get to the highest level of Mason is fucking the highest level of Masonry is the 33rd and 3rd degree. You're worshiping the devil. That's when you find out you're worshiping the fucking devil, right? This so-called the spiritual demon Satan. The so-called Esau Edom, who is the devil, he's the physical manifestation of the spiritual demon of that spiritual demon Satan. He's his ultimate worker. To keep reading, 13:11. This is the plebeians and patricians. This is the Democrats and the Republicans. And it's a bureaucracy. They're all the same eagle on the same two wings on the same eagle. The two wings on the same bird, same plane. And I beheld another beast coming up out of the earth, and he had two horns like a lamb, and he spake as a dragon. And he exercised all the power of the first beast, meaning Rome before him. And this is the revitalized Roman Empire. This is America. And causes the earth and them which dwell therein to worship the first beast whose deadly wound was healed, right? During the Renaissance period. And he does great wonders. They 9:24, Job 9:24. Let's go read it real quick. Let's go to the book of Job, chapter 9, verse 24. Bear with me. Because, they crucified our Lord right here, as it says in Revelation. I believe that's, don't get me to, I don't want to butcher nothing, but let's go here first. Let's go to the book of Job, chapter 9, verse 24, right? And bear with me. Hopefully one person, Lord willing, one person is edified. Lord willing. Job 9:24. This is it's a basic scripture to know we're under this devil's rule of thumb. He got his foot on our throat. Job 9:24. The earth is given into the hands of the wicked. He covereth the faces of the judges thereof. See that? He covereth the faces of the judges thereof. The visage, our laws. He took everything from us. He X'd us out, man. Put himself in the power seat, right? He put himself in the power seat. He covered the face of the judges thereof. If not, where and who is he? He told you everybody was like him. He is God. He wants you to believe he is God. Look at the World Economic Forum. Noah Harari, the other dude, the leader. These demons who stepped down. I forgot his name, but he's a damn devil, man. They say they are God. They want to be the gods on this earth, right? This is the book of Revelation chapter 13, verse 12. And he exercises the power of the first beast before him and causes the earth and them which dwell therein to worship the first beast whose deadly wound was healed. And here does great wonders, so that he maketh fire come down from heaven on the earth in the sight of men. That's what this, Nagasaki, Hiroshima, nuclear bombs. These guys, these devils, they literally use these bombs, man. They're the harbingers of death. The Oppenheimers told you that, man. They're the harbingers of death. They studied this. They stole them Temanites, man, out of Germany, man. They stole them. America stole them Temanites, them scientists. Operation Paperclip. They stole them damn scientists and formed NASA, man. Now they splitting atoms, making bombs. They all up in the atmosphere. Got these everything, and they're following the same lead as Japan. Facial recognition technology is growing and growing and growing, right? John the Revelator was telling you in the book of Revelation that this system, he's telling you right here that this system is put in place, right? This system, this beast system is right here in your face, right? Every time you pull up to a red light, green light, every time you look into your smart TV, smartphone, can read your thoughts, spyware. You're being spied upon. You're being invaded, right? And that's what the data centers are for, because there's people that's monitoring you right now. Right now. Just you're being monitored right now. And that's what everything is. These technocratic freaks, that's what this Trump administration is about, Nero. That's what it's about, man. Leading you to this point right here, mark of the beast. And they do great wonders so that this is lithium-based witchcraft, man. Lithium. When they invaded Afghanistan back then, took down Saddam Hussein, all them, Saudi Arabia, who did all that shit. What did they do, man? They found a vein of lithium, man. That lithium makes batteries. What does that batteries do? Gonna make more and more microchips, man. This is lithium-based witchcraft, bro. And the scriptures are telling us, Revelation chapter, and these devils told on themselves, they know. So you other cats that ain't teaching the truth, ain't teaching this prophecy, don't know the mark of the beast, breaking it down, circulacution, Captain Cesariak, tap dancing, Gregory Hines, Sammy Davis Jr., all around the true facts of the mark of the beast, man. You niggas is marked for death, you false prophets. You're false fucking prophets, man. You're Matthew chapter 14, niggas. This the book of Revelation chapter 13. The book of Revelation chapter 13, verse 14, verse 13. Verse 13, Revelation chapter 13, verse 13. And he do great wonders, and that he maketh fire come down from heaven. Yeah, missiles, hypersonics, warheads, nuclear missiles. This, these devils is ready for straight destruction, man. And the Lord's gonna, the evil's gonna slay the wicked. Heaven on the earth, they make a fire come down from heaven on the earth in the sight of men, and deceiveth them that dwell on the earth. See, deceive them by the means of those miracles which they had power to do in the sight of the beast, saying to them that dwell on the earth that they should make an image to the beast which had the wound by a sword and did live. And he had power to give life unto the image of the beast. And that's through this their AI, their technology, man. That's just all demonic. It's demons. These are demons. Artificial intelligence is just a demon, man. They opening up these portals through CERN, and the Lord's giving them this left-handed pseudoscience wisdom, this dark black matter wisdom, this dark wisdom to, destroy themselves, man, and get rid of you 2/3, right? And ultimately, he's going to preserve the elect, that innumerable multitude, that remnant, and, the earth is going to be established in righteousness. And that's the great news. Because if you could withhold from, bowing down to this devil and being tossed to and fro by these wicked teachers and their wicked doctrines, right? If the Lord bless you to stay, on a narrow, right? On the straight gate, right? Because we're going to go through this hell. We're going to go through hell. We're going to see there's going to be tribulation. Jacob's trouble is on the way. And this is it, man. So the water, this is the year. Apostle Tahar said it. Apostasy, great apostasy, man. Rebels. You got agents, and you got, sellouts. And this is that year, man. You see it. It's happening. And, man, the main two is the fake Christians. These fake Israelites. Right, the fake Christians, Hassan and Hakar, Frick and Frat, man, two demons, Bezel and Bub. Here we go. Revelation chapter 13, verse 14, and he deceiveth them that dwell on the earth by the means of those miracles which he had power to do in the sight of the beast, saying to them that dwell on the earth that they should make an image to the beast which had the wound by the sword and did live. And he had power to give life unto the image of the beast, that the image of the beast should both speak and cause that as many as would not worship the image of the beast should be killed. And, they're demonizing the truth. So everybody that's standing firm for this truth, and even you truthers, is going to die, That third witness is going to get put to death too. All right, you're going to have martyrs, but we don't believe in death. 1 Corinthians chapter 15, we're going to be in a twinkle of an eye, man. The Lord is going to preserve and elect. But those in the graves already that passed on through this truth is going to raise up first, of course. Scriptures teach us that. Let's keep reading. And he had power, 15, Revelation chapter 13, verse 15. He had power to give life unto the image of the beast, that the image of the beast should both speak, and cause that as many as would not worship the image of the beast should be killed. And he causeth all, both small and great, rich and poor, free and bond. This is everybody, young, old, rich, bond, everybody, whether you're with them or not. You with the elite, you juiced in, your Boule, Prince Hall Masons, meaning them nigga Masons. Don't matter, whatever you are, man. You're with the world, right? Causes all, both small, great, rich, and poor, free and bond, to receive a mark, RFID microchip in their right hand or in their foreheads, Neuralink. And that no man, it's a Karama, there's a delivery system, it's a Karax. You can go into the word, and that no man might buy or sell. You can't buy, you can't sell, you can't participate on earth, man. You're gonna, unless you're with this chip in your body where they could track you. They could take your cell phone, and they got all your records on that chip. Now you're the cell phone, you're the QR code. That's what it's about, man. The doors are gonna be locked on the store unless you slide that hand. So then what? You're gonna starve? Yeah, if you don't know Yahweh B'Shem Yahushua, you're going to starve. The scriptures tell us the Lord's not going to let his starve. So the elect's going to be okay. That's the gospel. That's the good news. 17, Revelation chapter 13, verse 17. And that no man might buy or sell, say he that had the mark, or the name of the beast, or the number of his name. Here's wisdom. Let him, the number of his name, 666. And here's what, and that's going to be on the barcode, 666. On all the barcodes, because that's the devil's number. That's his number. That's the beast's number. Here is wisdom. Let him that have understanding count the number of the beast, for it is the number of a man, and his number is 666. There it is. And with that, I want to say, call hello, Yahweh B'Shem Yahushua, B'Shem Kakodash, Shalom to the overelect, Lord willing, one person identified. Shalom to the Israelite foreigners, double honor to the other bishops, the elders, and the apostles, the great millstone who rule well and teach well, the men who taught me this truth. I mean, I learned from daily, the true men of the Lord. Everybody else are fakes. Everybody who are affiliated with the true doctrine know who they are. The Lord knows who they are. The water for this truth, for this oil, this meat. Shalom.